Welcome again. We're just going one after another. This one here might be tough, because it's just strange. As I'm learning, and as you're learning, and as we are hearing, and as we are seeing, that perhaps the next symbol that we should be playing with is the logos, the Bible itself. What does it mean? It's meant to divide us, and it's also meant to save us. All right. It's meant to kill us, separate us from God first, literally, separate us from God. And for very few people that can catch on or get over to this other side, does it let you free, take you out of this hell. And then you no longer follow the Bible. You no longer continue your trespasses. And no longer sinful because you've got mother. But think about it. The Bible itself has got very many people around its neck. Now, or got the people around their neck. You have to understand that too as a symbology, a symbolism of they're dead. They got them in a stranglehold. And this seems to be, par for the course. That, I told you before, I've mentioned how little light it takes in a painting to bring balance into the world itself. It's just a few bits of lights here and there. And it shows in the number systems here, we get maybe, it looks like we're losing again, looks like we're losing numbers. That's because we start talking ourselves about God. We saying, when I tell you that you're God and you're Jesus, it freaks a lot of people out, but we're in the images of these guys and we're made to become them. And we've said that we could do what they can do, even greater. And so people think of themselves, they're going to have some kind of supernatural, force, healing dead people and stuff like that, But the actual thing is if I have shown anyone the ropes here and they actually made it over to this side, then I would have brought someone out of death. I would have lifted someone out of their crypts. But it's really their own soul that does it. But the helper here is showing you, hey, I'll show you how to, like the Bible here is supposed to show us the works, and it only opened to those people with the eyes that can see and the ears that can hear and the heart that can understand this. All right. And most people just, surface and that's as far as it goes. There isn't anything further than that. All right. And nothing can be further than the truth when it comes to it. So, living by the book, dying by the word, because that's our job. It's our works that we have to do. And this beautiful Bible, that's the most read, most misunderstood, most widely bought, misunderstood Bible is a curse. It tells us that, as soon as you, adopt this system of beliefs, does it kill you right off the bat and divides you away from God immediately, boom, as if you were already connected to God anyways. But no, you're not. You're connected to yourself then. And, and then when it comes down to it, like with me now, once we got this going on, I'm connected to God. I am not God. All right. But in the Bible, it says that I call you gods. You are gods, so we take the place of Father. We're the beast. We take the place of Father, and everyone thinks Father's God. So, but we are in charge of our lives. But when it comes down to God, I'm not a God. Not in the senses that we have been taught what a God is, but we have access to God. Whereas this council, this idea of the stars in heaven falling to earth is a connection to God. There's a connection here, and we serve him best by shining light. And light is about, knowledge. This idea of opening people's eyes so they can see. Then then there's another miracle. You just open the eyes of the blind, and when it comes down to deaf and hearing, wow, look what you've done, but it doesn't get very much greater than that in raising people of the dead. And because you have learned the secrets, you have brought and fought and have accomplished, well, we have conquered death as well, because we have brought ourselves from following the word and being divided and being broken and, studying the brick and stuff like that. And all this business dying by the sword. It's like having our own abortion. That's what I was saying. We fall upon our own swords, and this takes away our ability to be able to connect to God. And that's what the Bible does to us. The Bible separates us from God. It was meant to do this. It's our works. And only a few of those people get out of it, because many people just absolutely love it. They just are they like doing the same things over and over and over and over again. And this veil stays stays closed. They can't ever see this truth. This bands is going around and around. This is Saturn. This is Satan. And don't think Satan is some outside force. Satan is the male side of God. The male. He is the left side of our brain, of consciousness, the lower conscious. That's what this thing is. And so it has its story, but the higher conscious has his story in there too. It's not the devil made this book. It's for the lower mind. If you want to call him the devil, that's what we call him. It's the unclean spirit, but it's also the man side of things, the earthly guy, the ruddy dude, the monster, the giant. That's who he is. And he's not welcome over to heaven until he wears down himself to a point where he's I need you, God. You have to be brought down a little, because the big guys, a lot stronger you are, you ain't worth. You're not worth. You got too much, way too much. All right, so it's very interesting about our Bible. It's still very important. I would have a long time ago, if I was an atheist, which is not the direction I was going to. But once I found out about all this neat stuff about the Bible, I started to feel like I was tricked. And of course we are. But when we find out that we made this choice ourselves, it takes it away. It takes away that heat. But at the beginning, the Bible's full of lies. It's just full of lies, 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 lies. Well, no, it's just full of tricks. And it's still very important. And I wouldn't say that it's not something that someone should, to even be picked from God. You have to come out into this field. You have to follow this book. You have to let it be the snare. It's just sitting on the side. It's everywhere. It's in a little side box here, a little something or another. Something. So even if this was the devil, it's trying to get as many people on earth involved in this situation, where right in front of your face, if it's the right Bible, it's the same information that saves you. And so out of all of these people in the world, these billions and billions of people, year in, year out, eon and eon after eon and eon, only a few people are pulled out of this situation. Everyone else is caught up in the circle. When they talk about God releases the bands, the control over you. It's like being married in the spot where he releases this and sets you free from this. That's the whole point of all these things. Even that symbolism of the ring being on your finger, it's just one that goes closest to your heart, and anyways, the whole dividing situation between, how we treat women, how we treat slaves, how we treat fags, how we treat all this, comes from our Bible. And no one seems to be pointing to it every time it comes down to it, that it's the reason for white people and white supremacy and all of this. It's the Bible coerced this situation to where we would be divisive amongst each other, so that we would fight against each other, and that we would look at God. He says, go and take whatever it is, take whatever. You didn't do any of the building, didn't do any of the work, didn't do anything. Go in and take over. That's what God tells them on the outside. But in reality, we worked really hard for this freedom. When we finally get it, we have worked eons and eons and eons for the Father, doing whatever the hell he wanted to do, and for our glory, for our own glory. This is when they say you're increasing yourself, that you are worshiping yourself. That's what you're doing on the outside. And then I get these Christians saying that, oh, you got God inside. Oh, so you're just worshiping yourself. And it's like, I don't worship myself. I am a vessel for God to do whatever the hell he wants in this world. That doesn't make me God. It just makes me being able to house God and direct his needs for the world, however that's business. Don't worship yourself. That's so idiotic, and that's childish way of thinking. That's the way the people in the folly are. They're not only the fags of scriptures by playing around with the men, with going around the idea of going to religion to get your comfort, to go to a male to get your comfort, makes you the fag. All right, the biblical queer. They're not only that, but there's they're all of the problems. They are everything about the Bible. They are the reason for our division. So that Bible there, that beautiful Bible that people kiss, and praise and hold up high, is the reason why we're all like this. Amazing. So there's a lot more to hell than there is to heaven. But when we finally make it over to the other side, we say, thank God. Thank God. Thank God for that Bible. All right. I'll chat with you soon.